There's my water.
We're live.
We're live. Hi. Okay, so welcome. There's a couple new people here. I'd like to welcome you to my home. A little background for the newbies. I'm a home trained chef, cook. I'm not a chef. I'm a cook because you have to have a degree in order to be considered a chef. I'm a cook. I've always cooked. It just comes naturally to me. I get it. I understand it. It's not anything. It's kind of like, you know, how people can sing. They can just sing. Just happens to be you can't teach anyone to sing. And but I can read I just get it. I can read a recipe. I can kind of figure out what it's going to turn out to be and how it's going to taste. I don't have a developed enough palate to eat something and tell you exactly what's in it, but I could do okay. But anyway, so I've always cooked. And then once your reputation gets out that you cook, you do things like this. So I do Smile on Seniors in the kitchen. I've been doing it for a couple years. It started during COVID when everybody was home and we were looking. I'm on the executive board of the executive committee along with Pinky and her husband for Smile on Seniors. And we needed activities for people that were home. They were in their homes and couldn't get out. We needed something for them to do every day. So every day we had a Zoom program. Rabbi and his wife and Hani worked very hard. And I did cooking demonstrations, and they really were very popular. It was a big attraction. And so once we were able to start meeting again, I started doing them at Chabad. In the meantime, we moved into this house. And when I moved, I said, I never had a kosher kitchen. And I said, when I move, starting from scratch, I'm going to have a kosher kitchen. So now I can cook at home. And I like it much better because all my stuff is here. And it just makes it so much easier. So that's where we are. I also have a little challah business. I bake for an event planner who does bar and bat mitzvahs. So I'm usually making a couple challahs a week, or maybe 100 challah rolls or whatever. So there we are. First thing we're going to do is the black bean cake. The black beans are the place of your flour. So that's what's going to give the substance to the cake. It's not a real sweet cake. There's no sugar. It's got honey in it. Let me get some honey. Here we go. I opened up a can of beans, a can of black beans. Hi, come on in. A can of black beans. I used an immersion blender. You can use a small Cuisinart. You can use a potato masher. I really want to pulverize it and get it to a smooth consistency. So I've already done that for you. So it's a 15-ounce can of black beans.
Do you rinse them?
Rinse them, put them in a colander, rinse them. It says it in your directions. Just to save time, I already did that.
Show the consistency, would you? Just tip the bowl.
Yeah, can you see it on the, you should be able to see it on the screen, yes? Because I'm kind of working and not really knowing what you're seeing. I know what I'm seeing. So the first thing you're going to do, have your beans. We're going to do 3 of the 5 eggs. The eggs will also give a lot of body to your cake. So we're breaking into glass so that we know that we've got good fresh eggs. We bake the eggs in a separate to avoid having blood in the egg. So there's 2. And that's a kosher dietary situation where you make sure that your eggs are pure. Is there a word for that, Rabbi?
No blood spots.
No blood spot. I knew there was a technical name. I just wasn't sure what it was. Okay, so I've got my 3 eggs in here. I'm going to do, and I'm not, this isn't a new recipe for me. I made it one time, which was yesterday. And so you'll forgive me for keep looking. And a tablespoon of vanilla.
Where did you find this recipe?
I don't know. I Google stuff. Yeah, no, really. I just Google stuff and I read them. Like I said, I can look at it and know that, yeah, that should work. And then sometimes, that's never going to work. So I Google around and I look, and most of the time it's to make sure that the ingredients are in my pantry. Because if I've got to go out, thank you. If I've got to go out and shop for it, probably not going to make it. But if I get inspired, if I'm looking for a recipe, I get inspired, I'm ready to go, I got to make sure everything's there, and everything's there. So that is also a determination of what kind of recipe I use. So, and the salt. Let's see, it's a half teaspoon of salt. Sea salt, it calls for fine sea salt. I have coarse. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. And yeah, we're going to beat that. Okay. So I'm using a hand mixer. You can use a whisk if you want, but this is a lot quicker and a lot more efficient, and incorporate everything real well. Can you see? And you'll see that there's still a little bit of the skin from the black beans. Pretend they're chocolate chips. Now we're going to do, also, I've never cooked with coconut oil before. I don't know how many of you, never. No, so this is a first. Yes. Yes. And so we're going to do 6 tablespoons.
Do you think it matters if it's a liquid or solid?
I don't think it should. No, I don't think it should.
And that's in lieu of regular oil?
Yes, this is in place. It's just, I guess, coconut oil is a healthier option. So.
You can melt it in the microwave sometimes. For all the gluten-free chocolate cakes in the world, including just like a regular flour.
A flour,
Yeah, why would you select this one?
Why? Because I like the idea of the black beans. I think that it adds another dimension to it. It's a little bit healthy, especially for people that are vegetarian. The beans are the protein. And so it adds more protein to it. So it's got a little more to it than just a flourless chocolate cake. We can pretend it's healthy. And that always helps when you eat chocolate, right? It's healthy. It has coconut oil. It has black beans. Yeah. Pardon? 2, 4, 5.
But she's clever, you see, she's putting it into the bowl. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6. Right, exactly.
You didn't give your Tupperware.
I didn't what? When I cook, my nose runs. I don't understand why. Okay. Coconut oil and honey. How much honey? Half of a cup. So what I do with honey, because it's like you put it into something and it's impossible. If I'm using oil in a recipe, I'll measure out the oil first and then measure the honey in that, not using oil. So I'm going to just spray a little bit of Pam in there. And then when I do my half a cup of honey, it's going to slip right out.
So there's the tip, you see?
You'll always learn something new here.
Smush the coconut oil.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. But then you got to dig that one out. So here we go. And there was a guy that was here. He left.
Yeah.
So I guess, I don't know what did he think was gonna,
Is this just about cooking? And I said, yes.
oh, all right, well,
Welcome to.
he was at the JAMA brunch on Sunday. Levy, was that the gentleman that just moved from Hawaii? He just moved from Hawaii.
Oh,
So he's looking for something to do. He should have stayed. So you see how it just kind of all slips right out, and it's not a pain in the neck to wash. That's a beautiful thing. And we're going to use the balance of the eggs. We used 3, and we're going to use 2 more. And that gives it the body. Yes, you get to eat. You know, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, sometimes whatever. It depends on what we make. That's going to go there because I need those eggs again. So here we go. We're going to. Thank you. Pardon? Ah, you'll be cutting the chocolate cake. So that's all incorporated well. Now, the directions tell you in a separate bowl, sift your dry ingredients. I don't want to dirty a separate bowl, so I'm not going to. So we're just doing, and it doesn't really matter because it's all going in the same place anyway. So, yes,
Since you're using honey instead of sugar,
yes.
somebody who's on let's say a sugar restricted, not to eat too much sugar, is this,
I don't know.
I was just curious.
You know, I don't know. I don't know because I do play a doctor sometimes on TV, but not today. I can't get real specific with the answers, you know, it's like,
And there's different reasons that people would be restricted, which
right,
affect what they're allowed.
and what they can. And a half a teaspoon of soda.
But there's nothing green.
I know, that's why, that was another reason I was so happy to see that you register. I should have said, and nothing green. We'll have him put that on from now on.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And 6 tablespoons of dark brown, dark. So dark is, this is 100%. It's really, really bitter, 100% cacao. It's really bitter, but it's good to bake with. It'll give a stronger chocolate taste.
Have you ever used carrot in place of the cacao?
Mm-mm.
That's a good one. Can you get it in powder form?
Yeah, it's sweeter.
You can get carrot in powder form? Wait. I found it in chocolate.
I got it a couple of years ago. So I don't remember. You can get everything on Amazon.
Oh, exactly, exactly. So we're gonna mix this up. Get it going around. Start slow so that you don't have brown all over. And the chocolate's a little more difficult to incorporate. Takes a little bit longer, which is also another good reason to use a mixer. And you can see what's going on. Let's scrape these sides a little bit.
Is there a reason you use a hand mixer versus a blender? A hand, you know,
Yes, because this is my Parv mixer and my KitchenAid is dairy because I bake a lot with it. I use both, yes. And I prefer the KitchenAid and I have a professional KitchenAid, so it works really quick. It's very, very strong motor. It's really terrific, but it's just dairy. So you got to think of all these things.
You can get a different bowl and a different heater and use the same mixer.
I know.
This is why you keep it separate.
Exactly. And that way I don't have to mark anything and we know the difference. It makes life so much easier. And it says to mix it for about a minute. So we're going to mix it for about a minute. You know what? There's a cake right there. You can cut slices. There's a knife.
the nuts or the round one?
The round one is the chocolate. Yes. There's plates and forks, and there's a knife, plastic knife you can use to cut it. So Pinky will show you the
End result.
end result. It's in a 9-inch round.
How does it make these?
So it made the circles because
Can you see it on the screen?
when I emptied it out, it's this. So it just made it's this.
Put that on top. You put that on top.
No, I turned it over onto the.
Sealed it.
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
The labels. Yes, the labels.
Got it. So that was just because I turned it over and yes. Right, exactly, to cool my little, yes. There you go.
Yes.
The gloves are right there if you want to, in this top drawer. Okay, so we're now gonna spray with Pam. It says to grease it. The spray pan and oh no, that's it. Okay, I want you to dust. You know when you the instructions in a cake is to grease a pan and dust it with flour. This one is grease a pan and dust it with just a little bit of this. If you wanted to use a hot chocolate mix to add some sweetness, you could. If you wanted to do dried cranberries, dried cherries, chocolate chips, I put some chocolate chips in this.
So it's not the skin from the black beans.
It might be. It might be because you can't get all the skin and that's okay, but okay. So just dust it a little bit. And we're going to bake it at 325. Every oven is different and every day is different because of the humidity in the air and what's going on with everything. And so baking times are a suggestion, but always check with a toothpick or a skewer or something. Can you see this? Okay, good. And it fills it up. You're not going to have a lot of, it's not going to rise much because there's no flour, because there's no gluten. So don't worry that it's going to do. Okay. And then on the direction, wants you to tap it on the counter for a little bit to get all the air bubbles out. And that'll do it. You can see them rising to the top and flattening. So there's nothing in here that would then disperse or fall to the bottom, unless you wanted to add some. You can add nuts, you can add dried fruit. Use your imagination. If there's something that you like paired with chocolate, go for it. It's 3:25.
Fabulous.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Dark chocolate. So for some reason, that got turned. Okay, this will go in the oven in a sec.
That's why she has the job.
Ha 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 ha. That's why she's the sous chef. Yes?
She could cut it.
I haven't tasted it yet.
Fabulous.
Oh,
The
how many
chocolate
did it
chips
say?
are
I will.
Perfect. Red, when you have
Oh.
a piece.
Very small.
I added probably a half of a cup. I used, I think I showed you last time. These are vegan chocolate chips and they're sugar-free. So there's going to be a little bit of the deep chocolate bitterness that you'll find in there. You can use a parb chocolate chip. You can use the dairy chocolate chip, whatever. You can use peanut butter chocolate chips. You can use cinnamon chocolate, cinnamon chips, peanut butter chips. Trader Joe's sells sea salt chips. Anything you want to just add something. I was going to make a frosting for it of using almond milk and powdered sugar and the cocoa powder, but I decided just to let you taste the cake as is. You can do anything you want with it. You've got a great, you have a great blank canvas in a sense.
How many more?
I got these at Costco. Yeah, I don't know if they still have them. So whenever I see something that's unusual, I buy two. Well, yeah, because, you never know.
Don't have tea?
It's good.
Anybody need a napkin?
Oh my gosh, it's good.
Hey,
I'll take yours.
It's crazy, right? Black beans, no flour. So rich. Pardon? Oh, actually, wait.
She's getting that. It's larger than the original question.
well, that's your fault.
All right, I'm gonna wash these up.
Is he here?
No, no,
Need him a piece?
no. I have another cake that I'm making, right?
Really like
Really, it's unbelievable that it's made with black beans, right? That you. It's so nice. So I'm going to clean up for a minute, and then we're going to go on to the tahini bread, which is also. Do what? Well, either one, or you can dry. I'll wash them. You dry them. Yes, yes, yes. A half a cup. Half a cup. You don't want to overdo it. Have some water because it's nice and rich. It's like great with a cup of coffee, huh? Huh? I'm gluten-free. So I feel like I fulfilled my mission. So I think that you would never know there were black beans in there. I know. Here we go. Let's put this there. Thank God. Okay, real quick. So I usually, if you've come to my classes before, they're always around a holiday. And so I'm always making something that is, you know, holiday related. So, because every holiday, you know, they're all Jewish. They tried to kill us. They lost. Let's eat. So, but last year, and some people have seen it. So last year, last March, we had a cooking demonstration here. I was doing hamantaschen, and my husband was home. He wasn't feeling well in the morning. And during the, and there were a lot of people. I think we had about 20 ladies here.
Wasn't that the year that we were making it home?
They were making them, yes. So we were all making our own. I think I made the dough. I think I made the dough, and everybody was making their own. Anyway, let me just put this in the oven. And don't forget.
You get a text message.
Oh, yeah. So my husband wasn't feeling well. He said he was gonna go to the doctor, made an appointment with the doctor, left, snuck out the back. I just want to see how many minutes, 45. And as we were all, had about 20 women all around making hamantaschen, all kinds of fillings. I had a lot of different fillings. Rabbi is so sweetly standing next to me, and I get a text from my husband. I'm on the way to the emergency room. Anyway, to make a long story short, he had had a heart attack, and things really went downhill from there for a couple weeks. But thank God. So there was a story. We were on TV this week. I don't know if somebody said they saw. Yeah. So on Fox 10 on the news, and that was on Wednesday night, and on Sunday night we were on Channel 3. It's Heart Month, and my husband, it was a couple of different things that had happened, but initially he drove himself. He drove himself to the emergency room, and then
the doctors allowed him to do that. He didn't get an.
Well, they didn't know it was a heart attack. They thought it was a bowel obstruction. So it started there. And anyway, he drove. Doctor said, "Get yourself to the emergency room." Got himself to the emergency room. They said, "No, you're having a heart attack." And it's like, what do I do? I have all you ladies here. And I thought it would be so much crazier if I said, "Hey, you got to go," because it just didn't feel like the right thing to do. And what was I going to do besides, be there and worry? I could be here and worry. Anyway, he was sent home that visit from the hospital wearing a device called a life vest. And that was a Tuesday. He came home from the hospital Thursday. Friday in the middle of the night, the life vest went off. His heart stopped. And it led to a lot of very, very touch and go times. Because February is Heart Month, the local news stations asked Banner, he was a Banner, asked Banner if they had a patient that was particularly in bad shape that is now okay, thank you God, to interview. And so they recommended my husband and the Life Vest Company. So he did a little story on Fox 10 and then on Channel 3. Oh, you did see it?
Because I was interested in the life vest.
Uh-huh.
I didn't recognize.
So, and now after a while in the hospital, he does have a defibrillator implanted, so it's the same thing. But what was kind of striking was on Sunday's news report, so they interviewed one of the doctors, one of the surgeons, and he was kind of very matter of fact on the Wednesday report, but on the Sunday report, and you know how you know it, but you just don't want to know it. So he said, they interviewed the doctor also, and he said if he wasn't wearing the life vest, he would have died in bed that night. And it was like, I heard it, I know it, but hearing it, it was almost like the first time that I really heard it officially. They told me they brought him back a couple of times. The life vest brought him back. They brought him back in the ambulance. It was really something. So if you know anybody with any kind of heart issues and they go into the hospital for anything, tell them to talk to their doctor about the life vest. It literally saved my husband's life because he wouldn't be here otherwise. It was,
What is the life vest?
it's like wearing paddles. So his heart stopped. His heart went stop. That activated and shocked him back. And he was shocked back in about a 24, 36-hour period. He was shocked 40 times. His heart stopped.
Oh,
His heart stopped 40 times.
I don't think does the pacemaker do the same thing?
No.
No,
But it's a pacemaker with a
Regulates.
defibrillator.
So this is before, because he didn't have the defibrillator yet.
Now, yes, now, so they did ablations, they did a cardiac ablation it was Purim. Rabbi came in his Purim costume. He took the wig off though. And really what a blessing. And it was a 5-hour surgery and sat with my kids and I. And then the next morning he had to have another 5-hour surgery. So, and then thank God, a week later he was home. So it's really, he's a miracle. He's a miracle. He's a miracle because it was technology. It wasn't medicine. It was technology. The company is out of Pittsburgh. It's called Zoll. He actually just got another call from them that I think, he could start doing commercials. He could be the next movie star, he could be the next celebrity. That the company wants to recognize him, the company that manufactures so it's just really been a very interesting time.
He's gonna walk his daughters out.
Oh, yes, yes. And my daughter's getting married. Okay, where are we going? Yes. Okay, are you leaving?
No.
Oh, okay.
Let me put it.
All right, let me get my,
I've never had tahini bread, so I don't.
you never had tahini bread? It's delicious. You'll have some too. We'll bake it, but I have one done. Oh. Of tahini bread? When you see it come together, it's like magic and you can't believe it. This is all the ingredients. There's 5 ingredients. That's it. No, exactly. And it's so easy to make and it's so good. Cinnamon.
That's what I was thinking.
So when on the tahini bread, they can, if they want, can spread on. This is whipped maple syrup. Oh, from Trader Joe's. They may not sell it anymore, but it's whipped maple syrup. So let's get this. What don't I need?
I discovered that tahini sort of lasts forever. I have some tahini in my refrigerator and been there for years. And I tasted them because I couldn't believe it was so good and they were fine.
Oh, really?
It's
Interesting.
It's probably a natural preservative or something in the fridge.
So this tahini bread is it's a really delicious bread. And it's a substantial bread. When you see it come together, you can see it, right? The bowl, because when you see it come together, it's really, really interesting. The Sephardim eat seeds, beans, and rice on Passover. This is a great bread during Passover because it's tahini, which is sesame seeds.
Wow.
And that's all it is. So if you are Sephardic or you choose to be Sephardic during Passover, which, you know, if you really like the bread, you might. Is there, so Rabbi, I have a question, a halachic question maybe. Sephardim will eat beans and peas and rice. Ashkenaz don't. But we're still the same Jews that celebrate Passover in the same way. Our dietary customs are different. So if someone said, you know, like me, you know, I think I'll be Sephardic today because I really want a sandwich, even though it's Passover, where does that lie? It, well, see, I know that. I just want to know why. You got to choose one.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think they eat corn also.
Yeah. And I think that goes from being in the desert during that time and not having, like, that was their staple. And right, this isn't the easiest, so you have to give me a minute. I'll chat while I'm doing this.
Could you tell us a little bit, like, what is
Tahini is ground sesame seeds. That's all it is. It's ground.
It's not as simple as you make it with Sephardic. Some Sephardic people, depending on where they come from, have different customs for Passover.
Yes.
Some might eat
Yeah.
just rice, no beans. Some might have beans,
Yeah.
no rice. So it's not so simple.
Right.
Madeline can tell us.
So,
You're Sephardic, right?
so this is a great recipe for you.
She doesn't eat rice on Passover.
Oh, you don't, but do you eat corn, beans? No, you don't. Now you're Ashkenaz. So this was, I don't know, a 35 ounce. I made 2 of these. I made one yesterday that I really didn't like. It's over there. So I made this one this morning.
Why didn't you like that?
You know what? Because it didn't turn out the way it should have. It just didn't. It didn't. No, same recipe. I just didn't like the way it baked up. So I made another one. I was like guilty all night. So I made another one this
So,
morning.
on your handout, it says 10-ounce jar of tahini. Is
Right.
there
There isn't a 10-ounce jar of tahini, so you weigh it out.
Yeah, my question is, what would be the equivalent in tablespoons?
I can't answer that. I don't know. But here's what I'll tell you.
Google.
You could Google it, but
The cup is 8 ounces.
No, liquid is not the same as weight, but it depends what kind of
where did I put that? Oh, here it is.
measuring it is.
She's saying it's dry versus liquid measuring cup.
But this is a 10-ounce weight.
It's a 10-ounce weight.
Oh, I see, right.
It's a 10-ounce weight. So what I do when I bought, because I bought a big tahini, now a lot of it's stuck at the bottom, which is I'm digging it out. And you wouldn't really be able to incorporate this well without a mixer, unless you've got like bionic arms.
Benita,
Yes.
I buy the new stuff. It's red and white. I don't know what it's called. It's a Trader Joe's and it never sticks to the bottom.
And it's tahini,
Yeah, it's fabulous.
and it's real tahini?
Yeah,
And
it's a Trader Joe's.
Is it a refrigerator or not refrigerator?
It's refrigerated. It's real good. It's red and white.
There we go.
I used to have this problem with the bottom.
Yeah, it doesn't ever come out, and then it's all oil on top.
And then I tried to make
Do you
it
know
go
about
out.
turning the jar?
Pardon?
Turning the jar?
I did turn the jar over.
Holding it on water.
I did. It was sitting like this all day. Yeah. And it still didn't,
So it's about 1.5 cups?
Where's my towel?
Less. Yeah, it's 1 cup.
It's 10 ounces. It's not cups, it's by weight.
Okay, I don't
You don't have a scale?
with my
See, I always cook with a scale.
spoons, it's like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Because 10 ounces of feathers is different than 10 ounces of
Flour, it says 10
beans.
fluid ounce.
Right,
No, that's fluid, not weight.
Not weight.
Yeah.
but I weigh out the 10. I weigh it out. I don't use a cup.
No, you have to Google it correctly.
4 eggs.
It's gonna depend what the substance is, because 10 ounces of tahini is different than 10 ounces of flour. So
to weigh. I have to buy myself a kitchen scale.
Yeah, you can buy it.
Kitchen scales are, yes.
And then.
Put your bowl on the kitchen scale.
No, I didn't, I'll check.
So everything goes into the bowl
It says
together.
that if you-
Rabbi,
Yeah.
question.
Take the scale.
Yeah.
Put your bowl on the scale.
Yeah.
Hit the tail button. That sets it to 0.
I don't know.
Now you have
What is zero?
Well, it depends what kind of scale.
Ones
There's different ones.
I see on my
Some
chat.
you would just,
Like it looks like South American.
go back, like, you know, zero it out.
But,
Right, some you actually just put the bowl on and you adjust it to zero. It depends on-
Yeah, but the bowl is on it.
Right, it depends on what tail. Yeah.
Half a teaspoon of soda. I can't hear you.
Were you using?
Tahini.
Hey.
Just says tahini.
Oh, is that red and white?
No, this is an Israeli brand.
Yeah, me too.
Well, the bottom of it is paste.
1.25.
Is that what it is? Salt.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's,
That one's, those are all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but no, but you didn't say by weight, it's by weight.
She did take fluid ounces.
I know.
a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of honey. I'm gonna eyeball it. You can kind of look at see what a tablespoon is.
It goes to pounds then, instead of.
Yeah.
Ounces.
Yeah, these are all.
Great, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Whatever looks. Now, the final ingredient, interestingly enough, I wish I was a scientist, but the final ingredient that I'm going to put in is the apple cider. It will add so much depth and body to the tahini that you'll see that it becomes a dough. It's like, doesn't make sense, but it works. So there's 2 tablespoons. Right. With the soda, with the baking soda. And it really just adds so much body to it. And you'll see it's 1, 2 tablespoons. And you'll see when we cut it that,
I have a gluten-free cookbook, a couple of gluten-free cookbooks. And whenever the recipe calls for a bread or muffins or something, she wants
Oh,
to have a side of vinegar.
vinegar, uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just let this go. Go right ahead and cut it. I put it in at the end, so, and you'll see it start to bubble and it's like a whole chemical reaction. And you want to make sure you have a nice smooth batter. You'll see it get really, really thick and it gets to be like a really nice batter, like a really thin batter. Oh, I'll do a little commercial also. He wants to see. As soon as all the noise is over, I'll do a commercial for my next cooking event. And that's how it turns out. It's a beautiful bread. It's unbelievable. And it tastes. I'll show you a bad one. No, I have a bad one. No, I have a bad one. You can make slices. Yeah. I'll have a.
Maple butter on top.
So Trader Joe's, every once in a while, not every once in a while, Trader Joe's always has something very, very interesting that they bring out seasonally. And so this is, it's just whipped maple syrup. So it's kosher parve. And it's so delicious. It's just a really nice buttery, mapley taste. It's a nice spread. Taste the bread first. You're welcome to put this on. I have jelly if you wanted to sweeten it up a little bit, but taste the bread on its own first. Do you need more plates?
You could use.
And then I'll show you how it didn't turn out.
And you did, sure. But you did exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
That's funny. You did exactly the same thing. One turned out.
And then it was just kind of, you know what, when I was making the batter, I knew it wasn't right. It just didn't feel right when I was mixing it. And so
Maybe the tahini.
I don't know. And that's how it turned out.
Is that like because things are too melted that it sinks in like that?
Maybe you put it in baking soda. By
I don't know that it was baking soda. It was the first, I was at the beginning of the tahini. So there was a ton of oil and I tried really, really hard to mix it up, but I think there was more oil than tahini. And so it didn't have the body that it needed. But there was no way I was risking my reputation by serving them when you'd never come again. Okay, so here's my commercial. My commercial is on March the 10th at Chabad of Phoenix at 22nd Street in Lincoln. There's going to be 2 Hamantaschen demonstrations. One is, I don't know what it means because I'm not doing them, but colorful Hamantaschen. And then I'm going to do, I have to remember how to say it, Babkataschen.
wow.
It's yeast, but it's got a babka filling and the cookie. March the 10th in the, oh, I don't think you need to go that thin.
No?
No, no.
Okay.
Don't be so stingy. 7:15. And please register online at Chabad of Phoenix. You can go online and do that. And the program is being put on by Levi's mother. Yes.
I'm making my shalach baskets at 11 in the morning. However, I was gonna bring you something, but I needed your permission. I made, you know where I go. I
Yes.
made tomato jam. I'm gonna make fermentation this year.
Oh,
Tomato jam that came.
that's what I did last year, if you remember. If you remember, in the midst of, so I thought, I'm not making Hamantaschen in this house again. It's kind of like, no kinaharas, thank you very much. I'm done.
Valerie.
Yes, no, I'm done. We're not doing Hamantaschen here anymore.
Valerie, that's what you said. I'm sorry, I just didn't catch that. What did you say? There's no somewhere?
No, we're doing a Hanukkah bake, a Hamantaschen bake
In person.
in person at Chabad of Phoenix.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And then here's.
It's a really heavy, rich bread. So now the thing that you're going to want to have to make your breads and loaf cakes look professional, buy yourself pan liners. It looks better. It kind of saves your pan and it looks professional. Standard restaurant supply. Yeah, standard. These were $2.99 for I think 50. So and that's it. It fits right in and it'll expand.
Did you all get?
Did you get down here?
You need to come back to
Yes, yes, yes. It is.
No.
The tahini probably. A little bit, yeah. One more behind. Oh, she got.
So how did that one happen?
Well, that's what I said. I'm not sure. I think that it was at the beginning of the jar of tahini, which had a lot of oil on top. And I think it just didn't incorporate enough.
Well, that's good to know, so.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah. You
Well,
can
I'm
cut
sure
this
you-
one too.
I'm sure it tastes very nice.
It would be nice to put sesame seeds on top for a little crunch.
Sure. Absolutely. Hey, I've added nuts to it. I've added raisins to it. Yep, sesame seeds that are already roasted. You know, any kind of seed, a nigella seed, anything to add in just another interesting flavor. Pine nuts.
You're welcome to come and taste it.
I
It's good.
want
It
to.
just feels heavier.
I think that was right. I think it was just all the oil.
Are you finished eating?
There we go.
All right, ladies, I'd like to make a little plug.
Ah,
Unfortunately, we left our donation box at home. Feel free, we would love to have a donation to this cooking class. Thank you very much. You make it, if you'd like to make the check, you're welcome to make the check to SOS.
And you accept cash?
We will accept anything. Thank you very much.
Pinky, can I have some of the flopped one?
You may with pleasure.
of the flopped one.
Which I may like better.
Why you don't like mine?
No, but Gary only eats, flat matzo balls.
He only eats.
Matzo balls that don't flip.
Oh, that's funny.
So he may like this better.
Oh, that's very funny.
That's who I'm at.
So what is it?
It's whipped maple. Here, I'll show you.
No, I see the jar, I just want, I wasn't paying attention.
Brad, here's a piece for you.
It's whipped maple syrup. That it becomes real. You like that one better? That's very funny.
Have you tasted it?
Mm-mm.
Have you tasted it?
Mm-mm.
You can't eat it. It's so
It's
good.
very- all you take is salt.
Which one? The second one?
The first one especially.
Oh, I like the floppy one better.
I think this one, the floppy one's really salty.
Take the other one, it's salty.
The other one.
Really? Well, I don't have it.
You know what, I didn't touch this, if you wanna taste,
Oh.
cause I didn't, it's
The floppy one's
very
great.
salty.
You're so funny.
The floppy one is bristle. I like. the-
I could have.
Yeah, that's what I.
Won't you pass this to me?
So interesting.
You taste the salt?
Hmm.
I wonder how much salt is in there?
Can't answer. I don't remember. I mean, the recipe calls for a teaspoon.